Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com. This afternoon from Sunset Baseball Field in Brush, it's the visiting Yuma Indians against the Brush Bee Diggers. I'm John Beltran. Welcome to another afternoon of Brush Bee Digger Baseball. Bee Diggers are 5-1 after beating Resurrection Christian yesterday in nearly a 3-hour game, 14-13 in 8 innings on B.J. Hirschfeld's RBI single. Yuma sitting at 6-2 on the year. And momentarily we'll get to the starting lineups. Of course, you can always follow us pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com. Click on today's game. For the Indians, here is their lineup. Batting first is the shortstop Jake Rail. Second baseman Jaden Koenig hits second. The catcher is Ryan Nolan. He bats third. Justin Koenig, the first baseman, hits fourth. The DH is the fifth-place hitter Brody Zwern. Ravel Yanez, the center fielder, hits sixth. Third baseman Lane Andrews bats seventh. In right field, Chris Harding hits eighth. And Emilio Arvizo, the left fielder, bats ninth. The Bee Diggers defensively have Ryan Hirschfeld at first. The second baseman is B.J. Hirschfeld. Mike Gutierrez at third. At short is Kyle Rosenbrock. In the outfield, Grayson Simmons is in left. Zane Fow in center. The right fielder is Brandon Walter. Behind the plate is Arnoldo Baby Maltos Garcia. And on the hill is the right-hander Alec Peterson. And as was the case yesterday, temperature in the 70s, maybe even a little bit cooler because the sun has disappeared. The field is in excellent condition. Bee Diggers today wearing their gray uniforms. Was buttoned down with the word Diggers etched across their chest. Yuma in their road reds with a white lettering and numerals and the word Yuma across their chest and the white pants. Mark Muniz, the head coach of the Bee Diggers. Brady Neiswanger is the head coach of the Indians. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at KSIR Sports. The pitch and the fastball's on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and one strike to the right-handed hitter Jake Rail. And just like Hirschfeld did yesterday, Peterson operating out of the stretch. And the 0-1 swung on and fouled off to the right. Count is at 0-2. Brush is going to need Alec Peterson to go at least 5 innings, if not more, considering they used 4 pitchers yesterday, have a league game on Saturday that Rosenbrock more than likely would start. And he also pitched an inning yesterday. The breaking ball is upstairs. Opening pitch was brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, and health. State Farm Insurance, 842-4555, fouled straight back. With a 1-2 fastball. 380 straight away, 300 down the line. Both in left and in right. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Maltos Garcia lays down the sign. And the pitch. Curveball, did he wave at it? And he did. A check swing, but Rayo went through. And there's 1 down in the top of the first inning. That'll bring up Jaden Koenig, a senior hitting from the right side. Don't be fooled by what happens early sometimes. Yesterday was a 2-0 game in the fourth. Ended up 14-13 Brush over Resurrection Christian. The pitch and the curveball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Stretch by Peterson. And the offering swung on and driven into deep left field. No way the ballpark's going to hold this one. That ball is way out of here. A home run for Jaden Koenig over the left field fence. And Yuma leads Brush 1-0 in the top of the first inning. That ball was belted.
Now back to catcher number 5, Ryan.
And that was all about location. And no doubt that Peterson throws hard enough, but when you throw it down the middle, that's going to happen on occasion. Stretch and pitch. Fastball is up and away. to the left-handed hitting Ryan Nolan. Out of the stretch is Peterson. And the 1-0 swung on, popped foul out of play on the left side as it's drifting towards the top of the dugout. Or no, it is in play. Gutierrez made the catch. So there's 2 down. Nice play by the third baseman, Gutierrez. I thought the ball was going to hit the top of the dugout. It kept drifting, but then all of a sudden it came straight down. Here's the right-handed hitting Justin Koenig playing first today. With 2 down. The stretch. And Peterson delivers. The breaking ball is upstairs. One ball and no strikes. Stretch and the offering. Curveball is down and away. That draws the count to 2-0. To the cleanup hitter in this lineup. And the offering. Fastball outside. Just missed. 3-0. Three balls and no strikes. More than likely Koenig will be taking here. And the offering is right down the middle for a strike. Just below belt level. It's 3-1. 2 down at the top of the first inning. Third game for the Bee Diggers in a span of 4 days. 6th game of the season was yesterday. 7th game is today. And the 3-1. Swag and a miss and a fastball at the letters. Count moves to 3-2. Payoff pitch coming up to Justin Koenig. Here it is. Curveball is lifted on the right side into shallow right field. The first baseman, Hirschfeld, goes out. Who's going to catch it? It's going to be the second baseman, B.J. Hirschfeld. And that does it for Yuma in the top of the first inning. But Jaden Koenig hits a home run as we head to the bottom of the first. Yuma won. And the Bee Diggers are coming to bat. This is 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 1-0 Yuma over the Brush Bee Diggers at Sunset Baseball Field in Brush as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Bee Diggers starting lineup is brought to you by High Plains Bank. Hometown service in a higher plane. That's High Plains Bank. Visit the friendly staff at 502 Central Avenue in Wiggins for assistance in opening a loan, equity line of credit, or checking account. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank. For the Bee Diggers, batting first is the pitcher, Alec Peterson. Arnoldo Maltos Garcia. The catcher hits second. Batting third for Brush is first baseman Ryan Hirschfeld. The shortstop Kyle Rosenbrock is the cleanup hitter. Oscar Soto, the DH, bats fifth. Mike Gutierrez, the third baseman, at sixth. Second baseman B.J. Hirschfeld bats seventh. Brandon Walter in right hits eighth. And Zane Fowl, center fielder, hits ninth. Yuma defensively will set up with Justin Koenig at first. Jaden Koenig at second. Lane Andrews at third. Jake Rail is in between him at short as the opening pitch is upstairs. Emilio Adviso, the left fielder. Raudel Yanez in center. Chris Harding in right. On the plate is Ryan Nolan and Jaden Rahm, the soft-tossing right-hander on the hill. 1-0. Breaking ball is up and in. Yeah, from here it looks like he's just going to throw changeups and curveballs, but not much of a fastball operating out of the stretch. We'll see how these at-bats progress for the Bee Diggers. And the 2-0. Changeup is a strike. 2-1. Everything's going to be soft based on the first three pitches. Alec Peterson digs in. 2-1. Swung on in line, and that ball is just foul. Peterson was 0 for 4 yesterday with a walk. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got to wait on this right-hander, Jaden Rom. Little bit of an unorthodox delivery. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the first. Yuma 1 brush, nothing on Jaden Konig's solo home run. The pitch swung on and grounded sharply to short. Rail has got it. Bobbles, picks up, throws to first, and that's going to be late. It was a slight hesitation. Very slight hesitation on a long throw. And it wasn't a pronounced bobble. We will give Peterson the base hit. That'll bring up Arnoldo Matos Garcia. Had a huge base hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. And then there were 2 runners on. The trail runner also scored on that play to tie the game at 13. He was 1 for 4 yesterday. The offering goes all the way to the screen on a ball that was way outside. A wild pitch sends Peterson to second. Count is at 1-0. And Ryan Nolan would have needed about a 10-foot arm to handle that one. 1 ball, no strikes to Arnoldo Matos Garcia. And the pitch swung on and driven into the right center field gap. That ball's going to head all the way towards the fence. Peterson is around third. He will score. Matos Garcia is around second. He's headed to third. Now he's coming back. And then the throw goes towards second. Matos Garcia races towards third off the hesitation. It's an RBI for baby Matos Garcia. And the Beat Diggers have tied the game at 1.
Now batting first baseman, number 2.
That'll go as a double.
Ryan Hirschfeld.
Went to third on the throw that was mishandled in the infield. He hit that extremely hard. Here's Ryan Hirschfeld. Struck out a couple of times yesterday. The stretch and the offering. And the changeup is in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch. Rom looks in, the 0-1, and that ball went behind him, just a slow breaking ball. This team just played a league doubleheader 2 days ago and beat Wiggins. They swept the doubleheader. And the offering. Upstairs. Again with the off-speed pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Ryan Hirschfeld. Diggers looking for a big rally in this inning. And the offering swung on and popped up into foul territory on the right side. No play there, and the count goes to 2-2. Took a huge swing. Now, that might have contributed to not making contact the way he wanted to. 2-2 to Ryan Hirschfeld. Nobody out bottom of the first inning. The Beat Diggers and Yuma Indians deadlocked at 1. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the ball is dropped over there, but Hirschfeld now is going to look and take off. Now they're going to call him out because Hirschfeld didn't run as soon as the ball hit the catcher's glove. Took such a huge swing and way out in front. That'll bring up Kyle Rosenbrock, who had 4 hits yesterday, was 4 for 5. And he's a very patient hitter. The offering. That ball nearly, it did hit him. It grazed him on the jersey as he tried to get out of the way. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't think this pitcher is throwing more than 60 miles an hour, if even that. Rom is definitely a finesse pitcher. And he did succeed against Ryan Hirschfeld, but did not against the first 2 hitters. Oscar Soto got on track yesterday with a couple of nice hits, including that double in his final at-bat, which led to the winning run. The stretch, runner going, swing and a miss. He was out in front, no throw. And the Beat Diggers have got to just wait. If not, they're going to overswing, which was the case there. No balls, 1 strike, the offering. And that curveball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rahm is the type of pitcher he could throw well over 115, 120 pitches. It wouldn't affect him. The offering. Swung on and fouled at the plate. You get very over-anxious when you see the ball just flying slowly. Stop, shop, and save on all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. The Brush Grocery Card at 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. You can also pay your public service bill and access Western Union. Swung on and popped up on the left side. The third baseman, Andrews, along the line, is dropping the ball. He dropped the ball. No infield fly because first base was unoccupied. The runners had to hold at second and third. Couldn't make the play at all. And the bases are loaded for Mikey Gutierrez on the error by Lane Andrews. And that was pretty routine. There's not really a wind here to speak of. So here's Mikey Gutierrez. The stretch and the offering. And that changeup is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush looking for the first inning lead like they got yesterday over Resurrection Christian. A lead they would lose 3 times. Up and in. 2-0. Rahm on this pace will throw about 100 pitches by the 4th inning. Runners take their leads. Matos Garcia at third, Rosenbrock at second, Soto at first. Very high, and there's nowhere to put Mikey Gutierrez. 3-0. So he's just going to wait for the baseball right now. Don't think he'll be swinging. That's in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. To Gutierrez. Got to be perfect if he's going to swing. Out of the stretches, Jaden Rahm, the offering. That's right there on the outer half. It's strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 down, bases loaded, bottom of the first inning. Brush 1, Yuma 1. Again, out of the stretch. Pitch to Mikey. Swung on and driven a mile foul down the left side. Count remains at 3-2. And the weather's almost identical to yesterday. The next bad weather day is supposed to be Sunday. And the pitch. Swung on and chopped slowly to third. Andrews can come home, and he will. And there's the force recorded. The fielder's choice goes 5-2. Eliminated Matos Garcia.
Second baseman, number 11, B.J. Hirschfeld.
The Bee Diggers might be squandering a huge opportunity. B.J. Hirschfeld will now hit. We know what he did in the clutch yesterday. That RBI single down the left field line. 1 of 3 hits for Hirschfeld. Stretch and offering. Upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. First 2 Bee Diggers were able to get base hits. And the offering. In the dirt, blocked beautifully there by Nolan. 2 balls and no strikes. Rosenbrock's now at third, Soto at second, Mikey Gutierrez at first. And B.J. Hirschfeld ahead of the count at 2-0. Bee Diggers have been a very good 2-out hitting team this year in the young season. Swung on and lofted down the right field line. That's trouble if it stays fair, but it's foul. 2-1. And because Rahm throws a lot of off-speed pitches, Chris Harding, the right fielder, is shaded towards the right center field gap. If any Bee Digger hits it down the right field line, that would be a right-handed hitter. They could run all day. Ball 2, strike 1. 2 down, and the bases full of Bee Diggers. And the offering. That's high. 3-1. Second straight hitter that Rahm has fallen way behind on. 3-1. That ball nearly hit him, and it's a bases-loaded walk to B.J. Hirschfeld. Rosenbrock will score, and Brush now leads by a score of 2-1.
Number 6, Brandon Walter.
That'll bring up the left-handed hitting Brandon Walter. With the bases reloaded, the stretch and offering. Down and in. Count us at 1-0. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch. That is inside. Another changeup, 2 balls and no strikes. Already 31 pitches thrown by Jaden Rahm. Soto at third, Gutierrez at second, B.J. Hirschfeld at first. 2-0. On the outside corner, it's a strike. Painted it beautifully, it's 2-1. Laying down the sign is Nolan. 2-1, that's very high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Walter, 1 pitch away from drawing a bases-loaded walk like B.J. Hirschfeld did. The stretch in the 3-1, and that is down and in. And Soto will cross home plate, and now the Beat Diggers off another bases-loaded walk.
Now batting center field.
Lead 3-1.
Number 14, Zane Fowl.
Zane Fowl will now hit. Well, you'd like to earn the runs, but you're not going to swing at pitches that are not over the plate. Beat Diggers will remain disciplined until they start seeing some strikes. And you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at KSIR Sports. Every time a run scores, we upload it, the pitch upstairs. And this is a non-league game for both teams, so you don't put in your best pitchers necessarily. And I don't know where Rahm ranks on the pitching rotation, but he's struggling right now, 2-0, up and in. He's thrown 36 pitches, 20 balls, and 16 strikes. 2 balls and no strikes. Foul waits, way outside. It is 3-0. This could be the 3rd consecutive bases-loaded walk to a Beat Digger. 3-0, and it is way high. And you got to believe that Coach Niswanger is going to come out. Brady Niswanger, if I repeat myself correctly. 4-1 is scoring is Mikey Gutierrez. And let's see if that leads to a pitching change. There's a conversation on the hill. Back to back to back. Bases loaded walks. I can hear Coach Niswanger on the hill. He's not happy. One thing is getting beat, and the other thing is beating yourself. Alec Peterson had an infield hit to begin the inning.
Alec Peterson.
And Jaden Rahm remains out there, having thrown 38 pitches with the Indians trailing the Beat Diggers 4-1. This is a 6-2 team going in. Hirschfeld at third, B.J. Hirschfeld. Brandon Walter at second, the pitch. In the dirt, scooped up by Nolan. And, of course, foul at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Brush had a 5-inning game on Monday. They're looking to do the same today with the way they're producing runs here in the first inning. 1-0. That's upstairs. Looks like changes, but he's slowing his arm motion down as well, so it's not that difficult to read. Stretch. And the 2-0. Very high and away. 3-0. This will be the 4th consecutive bases loaded walk if he cannot throw a strike to Alec Peterson on this pitch. Looking in is Rom the pitch, and that's in the dirt. That more than likely might get this pitcher out of the game. B.J. Hirschfeld scores.
Now batting, catcher.
B-Diggers now lead by a score 5-1. Arnoldo Maltos Garcia will now hit.
Your attention, please. Courtesy runner, number 41. Jaron Peterson.
Jaron Peterson, who scored the game-winning run yesterday, is now the courtesy runner for the B-Diggers at first. For Peterson, who's got a lot of speed, but he's pitching today. Maltos Garcia with an RBI double. The offering. That is a strike on the outer half just above the knees with a fastball. It's 0-1. Back, two back, two back, two back. Bases loaded, walks. Stretch by Rom. 0-1. Upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. This first inning is going to take close to half an hour because of all the walks. 1-1. Little bit high. Looked pretty good from here, but just missed. A little bit above the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rom gets the sign. And the 2-1. Up and in. 3-1. Yeah, at this point it becomes completely psychological. Especially when you're down in the count again. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tried to hit that one back to Fort Morgan or maybe another county. 3-2 to Maltos Garcia. The runners will be going with 2 down here in the first. The pitch upstairs, and he walked him. Walter will score the 5th consecutive bases loaded walk. The B-Diggers now lead 6-1.
Now batting, first base number 23, Ryan Hirschfeld.
And they've got to save their pitching. Apparently, Yuma does. That's why Jaden Rom is staying out there. Here's Ryan Hirschfeld, who actually struck out earlier in this inning. The stretch and pitch. And there's a drive into deep left field, and that ball's going to be way out of here. A grand slam for Ryan Hirschfeld in the bottom of the first inning. And the B-Diggers have put up a 10 spot and now lead the Yuma Indians 10-1.
Grand slam home run for Ryan.
And he just waited on that one. And it was a no-doubter. As his teammates greet him at home plate. Only the 3rd hit of the inning for Brush. And it cleared the bases.
Now batting,
Kyle Rosenbrock was hit by a pitch.
Kyle Rosenbrock.
Rosenbrock is the 13th hitter of the inning. Stretch and offering. Low with a changeup. That was the 50th pitch thrown. And the first inning by Rom. 1 ball, no strikes. And the offering. Right there at the knees. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch. And the pitch upstairs. Yeah, no reason the B-Diggers should make this a 4.5 inning game. It's pretty obvious that Coach Neiswanger doesn't have an option. He has to go with this pitcher. 2-1. Popped up in the infield on the right side. Should be a routine play. The first baseman Koenig makes the catch. And that does it for the B-Diggers here in the first inning. However, they put up 10 runs on only 3 hits. A grand slam from Ryan Hirschfeld. There was 1 error, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the second. It is Brush 10, Yuma 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Beltran back in Brush with the B-Diggers lead the Yuma Indians 10-1. as we head to the second inning. So Alec Peterson has just got to groove a lot of pitches and allow Yuma to hit the ball.
Leading off for the Indians at the top of the second inning.
Back to back to back to back to back. 5 bases loaded walks in a row. Certainly helped the B-Diggers. Brody Zwern, the DH from the right side, will now hit for Yuma. The stretch by the right-hander Peterson. And the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and fouled straight back. The count levels at 1-1. Before your next mixer or feeder truck purchase, compare the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. MMI International, 842-5161. Fastball, strike 2, outside corner. It's 1-2. B-Diggers at 5-1 going in and up by 9 here in the second inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matos Garcia puts down the sign. And the 1-2 pitch. Curveball called strike 3 at Bros Warren. There's 1 down in the second. Strikeout number 2 for Alec Peterson.
Now batting center field.
We'll bring up Raudel Yanez.
Raudel Yanez Olivas.
Hitting from the right side. The stretch. And the offering. Swag and a miss, and a fastball above the letters. No balls and 1 strike. Peterson delivers. Strike 2, fastball outside corner, belt level. Yeah, this is the easiest type of pitching, and sometimes more difficult to concentrate when you're up by 9 early on in the game. 0-2, swung on and popped up extremely high down the left side. The third baseman, Gutierrez, in foul territory, calls for it, backs up and makes the catch. 2 down. As Mikey G puts it away. And here's Lane Andrews.
Third baseman.
The right-handed hitting third baseman for Yuma. The lone run was a Jaded Koenig home run in the top of the first inning. Peterson again looks in with 2 down and the base is empty. Peterson comes home. Swag and a miss. He threw the fastball right by him. Belt level. It's 0-1. We'll have the B-Diggers and Strasburg Indians from Strasburg Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on 1010 and KSIR.com. Then a bevy of games next week as well. 0-1. Curveball swung on and missed. It tied him up. It's 0-2. In fact, the B-Diggers, after today, have 12 games remaining. Only 4 at home. 8 out of 12 are on the road for Brush after today. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Stretch by Peterson. And the pitch. Curveball goes to the screen. Count is at 1-2. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning is Alec Peterson. The stretch. And the 1-2. Fastball is outside. That levels the count at 2-2. For Morgan Mustangs and Vista Peak tomorrow in Aurora, 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. And the 2-2 offering swung on and fouled back. One with a fastball in the middle of the zone, and Andrews got a piece of it. 10-1 B-Diggers in the bottom of the top of the second inning, I should say, after the B-Diggers tallied 10 in the bottom of the first. Peterson stretches. And the 2-2. Right down the middle, and it was taken for a called strike 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Alec Peterson. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, it's Brush 10, Yuma 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bee Diggers lead the Yuma Indians by a score of 10-1. We head to the bottom half of inning number 2 in Brush. Bee Diggers had 13 come to the plate against right-hander Jaden Rahm, who was on the hill to begin this inning. Yeah, there's no doubt that they just can't afford to throw another pitcher. After a doubleheader last Saturday, after a doubleheader on Tuesday, they lost 2 to Haxton and then defeated Wiggins twice. Because if not, the logical thing to do after you allow 10 runs would be to take the pitcher out. But Coach Neiswanger obviously does not have that option. Oscar Soto reached on an error in the opening inning and scored one of the 10 runs against this right-hander Jaden Rahm, who threw 53 pitches, and that one's up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush could be just 9 outs away from winning. You got to go 4.5 if you're the home team. 1-0. Swing and a miss way out in front. Yeah, got to hold back. Everything is slow about Rahm. The arm motion, the speed, and he could be deceiving if he throws it in the strike zone. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded slowly up the middle. Second baseman Koenig to his right. Drops the ball after picking it up and then throws it over the head. And off the glove of the first baseman, Justin Koenig. So Soto reaches for the second consecutive time on an error. This time by the second baseman, Jaden Koenig. It was a slow roller, but certainly had a chance to make the play. When the Bee Diggers went to the state championship game 2 years ago, they lost in Yuma to the Indians 4-2. So this has been a very good baseball program for a while. Mikey Gutierrez reached on a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 1, the pitch. Upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Soto with a very short lead at first. 1-0. That's upstairs as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery offers cookies, muffins, and sweetbreads made fresh daily. Open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Also open Saturday. 921 Edison Street in Brush. You can pair with your favorite coffee, lattes, or smoothie flavors. Swung on, grounded off the third baseman Andrew's glove into shallow left field. Soto to second. And Yuma's committed back-to-back errors. He backed up and let the ball play him. And this is getting painful to watch now. B.J. Hirschfeld is now the batter. He drew 1 of 5 bases-loaded walks. And the pitch. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. To Hirschfeld. And the offering. Swung on in line towards right center field. Coming on and making the catch as the runners have to retreat is Chris Harding. Hit hard, but right at Harding, who had Hirschfeld played perfectly. 1 down. That'll bring up Brandon Walter. Walter had a bases-loaded walk. Now Harding, the right fielder, more than likely will shade him closer to the line. The pitch. Swung on. That has popped up extremely high. The second baseman just into the grass. Jaden Koenig makes the catch, and the Bee Diggers a little bit out in front with some of these swings.
Center field, number 14.
2 down.
Foul.
This is what Coach Neiswanger was hoping for in the opening inning. Zay foul. Drew a bases-loaded walk as Zane will now hit. And if the Bee Diggers are over-anxious, that's what's going to happen. And the pitch. Down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Soto at second, Gutierrez at first. 10-1 Brush over Yuma. Here in the bottom half of the second inning in Brush. And the offering swung on grounded foul into the Digger dugout on the third base side. Only 11 pitches thrown in this inning after 53 in the first by Jaden Rahm. 1 ball, 1 strike. Soto with a short lead at second. Gutierrez at first, and the pitch. Swung on and driven down the left field line. That's going to be way back there, and it is caught! What a catch by Emilio Arvizo, stretching out along the line to rob foul of an extra base hit. The Bee Diggers do not score in the second. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, 2 men left. We head to the third. Brush 10, Yuma 1 on 1010 KSIR. And KSIR.com. 10-1 Bee Diggers over the Yuma Indians as we head to the third in Brush. Alec Peterson recorded a 1-2-3 inning in the second. With a couple of strikeouts, he's got 3 in the game. Got to credit Jaden Rahm for doing the job there for Yuma in the bottom of the second. Tough to get out there as a high school pitcher after giving up 10 runs in 1 inning and issuing 5 consecutive bases loaded walks and yet holding the opposing team to nothing. Alec Peterson delivers to Chris Harding, the right fielder. The pitch in the dirt with a heater. It's 1-0. 8-9-1 for Yuma in the third. Peterson gets a sign. 1-0. Down and away. 2-0. A slight breeze. Hasn't really played a role yet. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the left side. Count is at 2-1 on a fastball that was riding in on the right-handed hitting right fielder Harding. 2 balls and 1 strike. The stretch by AP. And the pitch swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. Oncoming is foul. He dives and he can't get to the baseball. Backed up by Simmons. And it's a base hit for Chris Harding to lead off the third for Yuma. Not hit hard, but in the perfect spot.
Now batting left field, number 21, Hugo Arvizo.
There's Emilio Arvizo, who made a splendid play to end the bottom of the second inning. Short lead at first for Harding. Stretch by Peterson. And the pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night, when they do. Every second counts. As a level 3 trauma center. Colorado Plains Medical Center is ready to handle any type of emergency. Colorado Plains Medical Center, where expertise matters. Long pause, 1-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball down the middle. It's 1-1. The sun has disappeared completely. The Bee Diggers hold a 10-1 lead. The big hit was a Ryan Hirschfeld grand slam. His second homer this week. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Runner going to second. The throw is right there. The tag. And out at second base is Harding as the tag is applied by Rosenbrock on a perfect throw by Baby Maltos Garcia. 1 down in the third. And he will still operate out of the stretch. Peterson will with the bases empty. The stretch by Peterson, 1-2. Curveball swung over and missed. Strikeout number 4 for Alec Peterson. There's 2 down in the third inning. And Maltos Garcia thought there were 3 outs. He was rolling the ball towards the hill. But that was only the second batter of the inning. Here's Jake Rail, who struck out swinging in his first at bat. A very subdued environment here. There's lots of people at this game, but it's a 10-1 game, and that's what happens. You don't get into it unless it's close like yesterday. The pitch. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes to Rail. Peterson looks in. And the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan and Brush. Equitable savings and loan with financial solutions for you. The base is empty. And the 1-1. Curveball is chopped foul up the first base side. The count moves to 1-2. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll have the Avalanche and Vancouver Canucks. Only 3 regular season games remaining for the Avalanche. We'll have all their playoff games on 10-10. So April will be filled with a bunch of Brush Bee Digger baseball, Rockies baseball, and Avalanche hockey. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The stretch. And the offering. Curveball is dribbled foul behind the plate. And staying alive is Jake Rail at 1-2. Yuma held a 1-0 lead on a first-inning home run from Jaden Koenig, who is on deck. And the Bee Diggers put together the 10 spot in the bottom of the first. And the 1-2. The knuckleball is up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, those knuckleballs rarely rotate, which is why they're easy to spot once they leave the pitcher's hand. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted into the right center field gap. Long run for Brandon Walter. He's going back, still going back. Ranges under it. Makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Alec Peterson as we head to the bottom of the third. It's Brush 10, Yuma 1. This is 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 10-1 Brush leads Yuma. As we go to the bottom of the third inning at Sunset Baseball Field. And Jaden Rahm is out there for his third inning of work. Threw up a 0 in the bottom of the second. And Lane Andrews struggled at third with a couple of errors, and he's been replaced over there. We'll note that defensive change as Alec Peterson will step in for the Bee Diggers. Haddon Wilkins is now the third baseman for Yuma. Peterson with an infield single and a walk. He is 1 for 1. And all the Bee Diggers have to do is score at least one more run and hold Yuma scoreless over the next 2 innings. And this will be a lot shorter game time-wise than yesterday's. Swung on line, caught by the third baseman. Wilkins to his left on a bullet hit by Alec Peterson. There's one down.
Now batting catcher number 12.
That'll bring up Arnoldo. Baby Maltos Garcia. An RBI double. And a walk for Baby. The pitch. Down and away with a changeup. 1 ball, no strikes. The line score is rather odd. 1 run on 2 hits, 3 errors for Yuma. 10 runs on 3 hits for the Bee Diggers. Nobody has been left on base. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Ryan is certainly back. He got to the Fort Morgan game about an hour early on Monday. I thought he was sick, but now he's getting here closer to game time. And that one is upstairs, 3-0. In fact, I think he got here barely after I did. I was running later than I should have. 3 balls and no strikes. 1 out, the base is empty. The pitch up and in, and Maltos Garcia walks on 4 pitches. That'll bring up Ryan Hirschfeld, who's had a David and Goliath day. Struck out looking and hit a grand slam all in the first inning. Got a couple of home runs this week. Hit a 3-run blast in Fort Morgan on Monday. Here's Hirschfeld looking for another big swing against Jaden Rahm, the right-hander. The pitch. And that is just off the corner. On the outside, 1 ball and no strikes. With Matos Garcia at first. The stretch by the right-hander Rom, and the pitch in the dirt. And the count moves to 2-0. With Rosenbrock waiting to hit next, the pitch in the dirt again. That's 7 consecutive balls now thrown by Rom. He's basically going back to what he did in the first inning when he couldn't find the strike zone. He's thrown 73 pitches so far, 44 balls, and 29 strikes. 3-0. Right down the middle at the knees, it's 3-1. I think Hirschfeld wanted to pull the trigger, but not down. 3-0 in the count, or up 3-0 in the count. The stretch, and the 3-1, and that's upstairs, and it's another walk. Issued by Jaden Rom.
Now batting shortstop, number 5, Kyle Rose.
Yeah, we're going to have to check. I think that's at least 7 walks. Issued. Rosenbrock 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch and popped up. Takes that one up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The stretch and the offering. That one is upstairs as well, 2-0. Oh, that is now 10 balls thrown over the last 11 pitches. 2-0 pitch, down and away. Three and 0. Three balls and no strikes to Kyle Rosenbrock, the offering. And that's a strike below the knees. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Matos Garcia at second. Ryan Hirschfeld at first. 10-1 Bee Diggers over the Yuma Indians at the bottom of the third. And the offering. And that is a strike at the knees. It's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Rosenbrock. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and grounded slowly to third. And tagging the runner going by and then throwing to first is Wilkins, and safe is Rosenbrock. So the fielder's choice goes, or did he get him? Matos Garcia still standing at third. I guess he didn't tag him. He did not tag him. Thought he got the runner going by. It'll just be a fielder's choice on the ground ball. No error because ball was not bobbled at all. Everybody's safe. Oscar Soto will now hit. He's reached on an air twice. Stretch and pitch. Boy, he's way out in front. Swung at that pitch way before it got there, and he missed it by a mile. It's 0-1. And he's opening up that right hip again. He's got to stay in there. And the offering. Swung on and foul behind the plate. A little dribble. Yeah, he's just pulling off. 0-2. Soto was able to rebound yesterday and hit the ball well. But now he's just it looks like he's trying to kill the ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and grounded sharply to second. Koenig to his left has got it. And a play could not be made. Or did he pull it out of his glove? He threw it short as I was blocked off. And yeah, the force was out. As the run does score, Matos Garcia scores on the throw to second. So there is a second out in the inning, although only 1 out is noted on the board. Bee Diggers now lead 11-1. And here's Mikey Gutierrez. The stretch and the pitch. And that's a changeup inside. Fielder's choice and an error is how Gutierrez has reached. He's 0 for 2. The stretch and the pitch is upstairs. And it'll help if this is a shorter game because it's moving along at pretty much the pace I'm describing it. 2-0. Swung on and chopped foul towards the Digger dugout on the third base side. Count is now sitting at 2-1. To Mikey Gutierrez, the B-Digger third baseman. The stretch by Rom. And the pitch, and that's very high. 3-1. Ryan Hirschfeld at third, Oscar Soto at first. Brush leads by 10 in the bottom of the third inning. 3-1 pitch in the dirt. And the bases are loaded now for B.J. Hirschfeld.
Now batting, second baseman.
I'm telling you, I feel like I'm doing this game with nobody here. It's pretty quiet. And we got a decent crowd. But when you have this many walks, and again, we'll try to check the walk total. Looks like that's the 8th walk. Hirschfeld is 0 for 1. That one's extremely high. The B-Diggers benefited from 5 consecutive bases-loaded walks in the first inning. That's how they scored half their runs. 1-0 pitch, extremely high. 2-0. Yeah, 8 walks issued by Rom. 2-0 pitch. Down and away. We're about to make it 9. 3-0. Yeah, he might not survive this inning, but he survived the first. 3 balls, no strikes, and that's way outside. He short-armed it. Bases loaded walk to B.J. Hirschfeld. Ryan Hirschfeld crosses home plate. And it looks like we will have a pitching change. A 2-minute break. Rush 12, Yuma 1, 2 minutes on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Spencer Holtorf, the new pitcher, throws a strike and then a ball to Brandon Walter, very similar to the starting pitcher Jaden Rom. Lots of all-speed stuff. B-Diggers up 12-1. Walter has walked and popped to second. That walk was a bases-loaded walk, one of 6 drawn by the B-Diggers. 1-1 is short-armed in the dirt. Blocked by Nolan. 2 balls and 1 strike. 9 walks issued by Jaden Rom. This is 1010 KSIR. Brush, Fort Morgan, Greeley. Bases loaded, the pitch. Swung on and grounded sharply up the middle to the shortstop. Rail flips to second for the force. And the B-Diggers are done here in the bottom of the third inning. Although they did score a couple of runs and leave the bases loaded. Let's head to the fourth. It's Brush 12, Yuma 1. A 1-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The B-Diggers are 6 outs away from winning this game in abbreviated fashion over the Yuma Indians, 12-1 as we head to the fourth inning, 2, 3, and 4 for the Indians, starting with Jaded Koenig. Koenig hit a first inning home run. And that's been it for the Indians against the right-hander Alec Peterson. Yeah, the 10-run first, and that's really what's done it in this game. That's the complete story. Don't have to write a book about this game. You just look at the 1 inning. Yesterday, had to write a book. A lot of goose eggs early, then it all changed later on. And the 8-run victory for the B-Diggers. Here is Koenig. And the ball he hit off of Peterson for a home run was pretty much a fastball down the middle. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes to Koenig. Matos Garcia lays down the sign. And a long pause, 1-0. Curveball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. 10 runs in the first, 2 in the third for the B-Diggers. Yuma's Lone run came in the opening frame. Peterson stretches. And the 2-0. He's short on that fastball. It's 3-0. The Bee Diggers only have 3 hits in the game and yet have 12 runs. 3-0 pitch. Down the middle, strike one. 3-1. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. One-stop shop for flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. That is none other than Ackley Building Center. 3-1 to Koenig. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Jaded Koenig did not sell that well because he could have taken off. But he stood there, and it was kind of a delayed call. Peterson gets the sign. Let's see if he goes with a breaking ball. And the 3-2. Oh, he's shorter on that to the screen. I don't know what he was trying to throw there. It just slipped out of his hand. Definitely not a curveball. That'll bring up Ryan Nolan, who popped to third in his opening at bat, hitting from the left side. Nolan has been very busy considering he's the catcher for Yuma. A lot of times squatting this afternoon. Stretched by Peterson. And the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Leading off of first is Koenig. Matos Garcia lays down the sign. Peterson. Long pause. And that throw to first bounces in there to Hirschfeld. I'm sure that's not his best pickoff move. No balls, 1 strike. Bee Diggers up by 11 in the top of the 4th inning over the Yuma Indians in Brush. And the offering. Swung on and grounded right side. The second baseman, Hirschfeld, flips to second, and that's going to be late. And a throw to first is also late. That's a fielder's choice, no error, because the play was made cleanly. Hirschfeld just misjudging the speed of the runner, Koenig. So Yuma has 2 on to begin the 4th. And here is Justin Koenig, who popped to second in his opening at bat. Yuma looking to make some noise here at the plate. Down 12-1. Peterson stretches. Looks back, and the pitch. Curveball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Bee Diggers at double play depth. 1-0. Swung on and grounded to short. Rosenbrock to his right has it. Flips to second for 1. Hirschfeld to first. 2. 6-4-3. Jaded Koenig to third, and there's 2 down. That'll send up Brody Zwern, who struck out looking to lead off the second. Zwern steps in to stretch. And a pitch. Fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Stretch in the offering. Swung on and popped foul down the right field line. Long run, but nobody will get there. And the count is level at 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Top of the 4th inning. The Bee Diggers lead the Yuma Indians in Brush 12-1. Brody Zwern, the right-handed hitting DH, settles in. The stretch by Peterson. And the delivery. Swung on and lifted down the left field line. If it's fair, it's going to be a home run way back as Simmons towards the track, and it's gone. It's a home run. A 2-run shot for Brody Zwern. The Bead Digger lead is down to 9. It's 12-3. That'll bring up Raudel Yanez.
Now batting center field, number 9. Raudel Yanez Olivas.
Yanez popped out in his first at bat. The stretch. And Peterson comes home. Fastball, a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. So Yuma gets on the board for the first time since the first inning. And the pitch. Swung on and grounded left side. The shortstop Rosenbrock cannot play in the hole. It's off his glove in the left field. We'll call it a base hit. Would have been a very difficult play. So a base hit by Yanez. That extends the inning for Lane Checkdat. Batting now is Haddon Wilkins, his first plate appearance.
Now batting number
After he came into the game about an inning and a half ago. Swing and a miss. Challenged it with a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. Peterson stretches. Runner takes off. He turns around and then throws it towards center field. Caught by Hirschfeld, the second baseman, behind the bag. Straight up stolen base. That's all that is. So no balls and 1 strike. Now Yanez at second. Bead Diggers will need at least a run now in the bottom of the 4th and then hold Yuma in the top of the 5th to shorten the game, the stretch. And the pitch. Curveball is outside. Count to Wilkins is 1-1. Yanez off of second. And Peterson comes home. Fastball is outside. Ball 2, strike 1. You're tired of the same old lunch and dinner menu? Switch it up. Pick up something new for the hot and cold deli selection. Stubbs, gas, and oil. Great food at low prices in Wiggins. The pitch. Down and away. 3-1. Yuma's actually out hitting Brush. They've got 4 hits in the game. The Bead Diggers have 3, but Brush is up 12-3 thanks to 6 bases loaded walks, 5 in a row in the first inning. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. And now it's 3-2. Continuous reminders, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at KSIR Sports or a pitch-by-pitch account at KSIRsports.com. Just click on the link for today's game. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball down and away as Haddon Wilkins strikes out. However, the Indians come up with a 2-run homer from Brody Zwern, one of their 2 hits. They leave a man on second. 3.5 complete in Brush. Yuma trails Brush 12-3 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Brush 12, Yuma 3. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning in Brush.
Center field.
And
number 14,
Zane Fowl will now hit against the relief pitcher, the right-hander Spencer Holtorf. Foul in the game so far is 0-for-1. He walked in a line drive for an out, and that off-speed pitch is in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Holtorf needed just 5 pitches to get out of that jam created by the starter, Rahm, in the 3rd, and that's behind him. was a bases loaded walk issued to foul. 2 balls and no strikes. Line by Holtorf. 2-0 pitch. And that is inside. Okay. Looks like he's got a little knuckle on that pitch. 3 balls and no strikes. Yuma pitchers have issued 9 walks in the game. 3-0. Down the middle for a strike. It's 3-1. 9-1-2 for the Bee Diggers. In the bottom of the 4th inning, up 12-3. 3-1 to foul. The offering. And that is inside. That's the 10th walk issued by a Yuma pitcher. Alec Peterson will now hit. He singled. He was walked and then lined out.
Alec Peterson.
His best at bat was his most recent at bat when he hit that shot. I have never seen that. 6 bases loaded walks in one game and 5 consecutive. The pitch, and that is right down the middle for a strike. On the changeup, it's 0-1, and the Bee Diggers scored just 1 run and hold Yuma in the 5th. And this game is over quickly. Foul with a 2-step lead. The stretch by the right-hander, Holtorf. And the pitch is upstairs. That levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bee Diggers are still incredibly enough being out-hit in the game. 4-3. And the offering swung on and fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alec Peterson. 1 run in the first, 2 in the 4th for Yuma. The Bee Diggers with 10 in the first and 2 in the 3rd. So they've done well in the odd number innings. We're in the 4th. Oh, forget about that theory now. Runner stays, swung on and drilled into deep left center field, and that ball's going to go up against the fence. Fouls rounding second, headed to 3rd, and he's going to be sent home. The throw is going to come all the way through. He slides. He's in there on the RBI double from Alec Peterson. The Bee Diggers are back up by 10. It's Brush 13, Yuma 3.
Now batting catcher.
And here comes the smooth swinging Arnoldo Maltos Garcia, who has an RBI double and a couple of walks. Jaron Peterson will now run for Alec Peterson. Holtorf looks in. And the pitch. Swag and a miss. Whew. Arnoldo's trying to hit that ball again to another county. He took a similar swing earlier. No balls and 1 strike. Stretch by Holtorf with Jaron Peterson at second. And the offering. And that ball bounces in and bounces off the catcher, Nolan, but to his left, no advance. That levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, this is not going to be just a 1-run inning for the Bee Diggers. Now with the heart of the order up there. Stretch and the pitch. Swung on and drilled high and deep down the left field line. Should stay in the park, but it's going to take 2 hops and bang up against the fence. Rounding 3rd is Jaron Peterson. He scores. It's another RBI double for Arnoldo, baby, Maltos Garcia. Brush 14, Yuma 3.
Now batting first baseman, number 23, Ryan Hirschfeld.
Here's Ryan Hirschfeld. And now the Bee Diggers are officially out hitting the Yuma Indians. A grand slam earlier in this game for Hirschfeld to pitch. Down the middle, that's strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch, the pitch, in the dirt. Count is level at 1-1 to Ryan Hirschfeld. Here could be another big inning for Brush. The pitch. And that is a strike at the letters. Count now sits at 1-2. With nobody out, already 2 across in this inning. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and hit very high into left field, going way back. And it gone! A 2-run homer for Ryan Hirschfeld. As Emilio Arvizo ran out of room, Hirschfeld has 2 homers and 6 runs batted in the game. And the Bee Diggers now lead the Yuma Indians 16-3. He basically golfed that ball out of here. That'll bring up Kyle Rosenbrock, who incredibly enough is 0 for 2, has no hits in the game.
Shortstop number 5, Kyle Rosenbrock.
Hirschfeld just waited on that pitch and took care of the rest. So out of the windup now is Holtorf to pitch. Very high. One ball, no strikes. The wind and the offering. Swung on and fouled off the end of the bat towards the first base side. A very early swing by Kyle. And the count is level at 1-1. One ball, one strike. Nobody out. In this inning, the pitch. That's upstairs. Count is at 2-1. That's what Kyle had on Monday. He had 2 hits and 6 RBIs. Ryan Hirschfeld with 2 homers and 6 ribbies. Swung on. That ball's driven into deep left field. Forget about it. That is launched. A titanic blast for Kyle Rosenbrock on a 2-1 pitch. Back-to-back jacks by the Bee Diggers. Brush 17. Yuma 3.
Solo shot home run for Kyle Rosenbrock.
And the Bee Diggers have tallied 5 in the inning, and they are teeing off on the right-hander Spencer Holtorf. Here's Oscar Soto. He's hitless. He's 0 for 3 in the game.
Number 40, Oscar Soto.
Reached a couple of times via the errors. And the pitch is swung on, driven into deep left field. Adviso to his left. It's over his head. Soto around first. He's headed to second, and he's got a double. Well, the Bee Diggers only had 2 hits coming into the inning, or 3, I should say. But that has changed quickly. Brush has 5 hits in the inning, including back-to-back home runs. And here's Mikey Gutierrez. And there's not much of a bench to clear either. The Bee Diggers have, I think, only, 3 players in reserve, 3 or 4. The stretch by Holtorf. Pitch to Mikey. Right there with a changeup for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. To Mikey Gutierrez. He does not have a hit either. Fielder's choice, an error and a walk. 0 for 2 in the game. The offering. Swung on and grounded to short in the hole. Backhanded over there. Long throw to first, a bullet, and scooped out nicely by Koenig. As Jake Rail makes the play, Soto had to hold. And that is the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. And it was not an easy play on either end. Now we will have a pinch hitter. Jose Rodriguez will now bat for the Bee Diggers. with 1 on and 1 out and 5 across in the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Bee Diggers up 17-3 on the Yuma Indians. Yesterday's game took an hour and 57 minutes to play. We won't even come close to that. We'll barely eclipse half of that in this one. The stretch by Holtorf and the offering. Swung on and fisted right back to the pitchers. The bat goes flying. Holtorf throws to first, advancing to third is Soto, and there's 2 down. That bat landed near head coach Mark Muniz, who's coaching third base. That is a complete loss of the grip, and Rodriguez felt it. 2 down. And let's see, we'll have another hitter for the Bee Diggers. That'll be Aaron Williams stepping in.
Number 25. Aaron Williams.
A sophomore. Holtorf winds up with 2 down. The pitch. Swag. And a miss, and a ball well up in the zone. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Swung on and lifted to center field. Raudel Yanez going to his left. He's way back, and it's over his head. Soto will score easily. Williams races to second. It's a 2-out RBI double. And the Bee Diggers now lead the Yuma Indians 18-3. And now let's see who steps in for Brush. Again, clear on the bench here. That'll be Jaron Peterson. To hit here in the number 9 hole in Zane foul spot.
Number 41, Jaron Peterson.
Stretched by Holtorf as he looks in. And the pitch. Swung on and popped up down the right field line. A long run. It's trouble if it stays fair, and it's foul. So no balls and 1 strike to Peterson. Well, the Bee Diggers now up 18-3 over the Yuma Indians in the bottom of the 4th inning. And at second base is Aaron Williams after his run-scoring double. Look to the team at Aspen Rehabilitation inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. 815 Fremont, 867-8261. 0-1 pitch upstairs with a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike. At least the Bee Diggers got the hitting they needed. You want your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan, your local Napa store. And the 1-1 upstairs as well. Ball 2, strike 1 to Jaron Peterson. And almost everybody has batted who's on the roster. Almost. The stretch. Williams off of second. 2-1 pitch, and he bounced it in there, blocked by Nolan, who's been incredible today behind the plate considering what he's had to absorb with a hit batsman and 10 walks issued to Bee Digger hitters. 3 balls and 1 strike. Holtorf comes in. That's high. First and second as Peterson walks. And
now batting,
let's see.
Number 29, Connor Keegan.
Connor Keegan will now hit for the Bee Diggers. Left-handed hitter for Brush. Stretched by Holtorf. The pitch. Check swing foul. And hit an automobile going by. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, no, that automobile was actually moving. Went over the parked cars. Never been hit 16 seasons. It's going to happen at some point. 0-1 to Keegan off of second Williams, off of first Peterson. Swag and a miss. He pulled off that pitch. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting Bee Digger. Brush leads 18-3 over Yuma in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nolan lays down the sign. 0-2. Swung on, line into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Williams is around third. The throw's going to come towards the plate. And Williams scores standing up on the RBI single from Connor Keegan. And the B-Diggers now lead the Indians 19-3. And the lineup is going to turn over. Advancing to third, incidentally, was Peterson. Arnoldo Maltos Garcia, 2 for 2. A couple of RBI doubles. He's walked twice. And now you just want to see the end of this game as quickly as possible. The pitch, low. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, this is now a matter of just holding off more pain here. Stretch and pitch. Swung on, driven high and deep to right center field, going way back and making the catch is Harding. And that does end the inning. But the B-Diggers come through with an explosion in the bottom half of the 4th inning. As Brush scores 7 times on 7 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. The B-Diggers get a home run from Ryan Hirschfeld and another one from Kyle Rosenbrock. We head to the 5th. Brush 19, Yuma 3 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Yuma needs 7 runs to extend the game, as the B-Diggers have a 19-3 lead at home going into the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Chris Harding, Emilio Arvizo, and Jake Rail against right-hander Alec Peterson, who has allowed 4 hits to this point. And he's been in control on the mound. He's thrown 63 pitches, 40 for strikes.
Right fielder, number 14.
Harding, 1 for 1. Singled in his first at bat. I have a brief post-game show coming up. The Avalanche tonight, taking on the Vancouver Canucks. 5 strikeouts, only 1 walk issued by Alec Peterson. And that's what the B-Diggers needed, just 1 pitcher to throw today, considering they used 4 yesterday and have a league game coming up on Saturday. Fastball is outside. It would take a disaster of an inning for Brush to use another pitcher. 10 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 7 in the fourth. 1 in the first and 2 in the fourth for Yuma. And the 1-0. Swung on and popped up on the right side into foul territory. The catcher, Maltos Garcia, runs out of room. It's 1-1. B-Diggers on Saturday morning will take on Strasburg at 11 o'clock in Strasburg on 1010 and KSIR.com. Then Tuesday on the road against Sterling at 4 o'clock. And we'll have all the B-Digger games throughout the remainder of the season right here on 1010 and KSIR.com. The stretch. Harding awaits the 1-1, and the knuckler is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nice job of Ryan here staying awake. He's used to the tight games like I am. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and popped up extremely high into foul territory. Don't even see where the ball is going, but it's out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I had no idea where that ball went. 2-2 to Harding. Peterson looks in. And the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Maltos Garcia has to pick it up, throw to first. And there's 1 down. Strikeout number 6 for Alec Peterson.
Strikeout number 6 for Alex Peterson.
And that'll bring up Emilio Arvizo.
Now batting left fielder number 21, Hugo Arvizo.
Adviso struck out swinging in his first at bat. Well, the Bee Diggers have batted around quite a few times, as you would imagine. Stretch by. Peterson the pitch. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush 19, Yuma 3. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 2 outs to go. And the offering. Outside with a fastball. Temperature begins to drop as anticipated tonight. 2 balls, no strikes. Adviso awaits the pitch. Outside, it's 3-0. Let's go, Petey. Nobody wants to stay here longer than they have to. Of course, obviously he's trying to throw strikes. But as I mentioned earlier, when you're out there by yourself and the game is out of hand, a little bit harder to concentrate. 3-0. Right there for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. It's 3-1. Peterson hopes to throw no more than 80 pitches in this game. He's at 72. The stretch with the bases empty. 3-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. One with a fastball down the middle. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Emilio Adviso. Bee Diggers will move to 6-1. Yuma will drop to 6-3. With 3 losses in their last 5 games. The other 2 to Haxton. Peterson with a payoff pitch. Curveball right down the middle. Called strike 3. 7 strikeout for Petey. And there's 2 down in the 5th inning. Jake Rayla struck out swinging and popped out. He is 0 for 2.
Shortstop. Number 6, Jake Rayla.
Steps in from the right side. The stretch by Peterson. And the offering. Curveball right there. Strike 1 outside corner at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted extremely high to shallow left center field. The shortstop, Rosenbrock, is out, makes the catch, and the Brush Bee Diggers have defeated the Yuma Indians by a score of 19-3 in 4 1/2 innings. We'll take a break and come back with a recap on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Bee Digger post-game shows brought to you by Buildings by Design. Knowing who you can trust to do a good job is the tough part nowadays, but when you hire Buildings by Design, you can trust you get the building you want when you want it and at the quality you deserve. Start your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design as the Bee Diggers play a much shorter game today after playing for 2 hours and 57 minutes yesterday in a 14-13 8-inning winning over Resurrection Christian. Today they go 5 innings and defeat Yuma 19-3. 19 runs on 10 hits, no errors, 7 left on base for Brush. 3 runs on 4 hits, 3 errors, 1 left on base for Yuma. The winning pitcher was Alec Peterson as he strikes out 7. And the loss goes to Jaden Rom. Time of the game, 1 hour and 41 minutes. Yuma got on the board first on a solo home run by Jaden Koenig, but the Bee Diggers countered in the bottom of the first inning. Arnoldo Baby Maltos Garcia with an RBI double tying the game. And then B.J. Hirschfeld drew a bases-loaded walk later on, making it 2-1. In fact, that was the first of 5 consecutive bases-loaded walks. B.J. Hirschfeld, Brandon Walter, Zane Fowl, Alec Peterson, and Baby Maltos Garcia. That made it 6-1. And then with the bases still loaded, Ryan Hirschfeld hit a grand slam. It was 10-1 Bee Diggers. Then in the bottom of the third, Oscar Soto hit into a fielder's choice. A run scored, making it 11-1. B.J. Hirschfeld drew another bases-loaded walk as it was 12-1. Yuma came back with a 2-run homer by Brody Zwern in the top of the 4th inning, making it 12-3. But then the floodgates opened even more in the bottom of the 4th inning as the Bee Diggers only had 3 hits going into the frame. They had 7 in the bottom of the 4th alone. Alec Peterson with an RBI double, making it 13-3. Run scoring double, the second of the game for Maltos Garcia. And the Bee Diggers led by 11. Hirschfeld hit his second home run, a 2-run jack. And that was followed up by a solo home run from Kyle Rosenbrock, making it 17-3. And then an RBI double from Aaron Williams, followed by a run-scoring single from Connor Keegan. And the B-Diggers win the game 19-3 to move to 6-1, and the Indians are now 6-3 on the year. The B-Diggers still have plenty of non-league games to go, but none coming up immediately. In fact, now that they've got 12 games remaining in the regular season, they've got a bevy of league games coming up, including on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in Strasburg against the Indians right here on 1010, as well as KSIR.com on the back end of their schedule. They'll be playing Resurrection Christian again in Loveland. They'll be playing Denver North. They'll be taking on Thornton, so they'll still have some non-league games coming up a little bit later on, but their first Patriot League game of the regular season will come on Saturday morning, and we'll have it for you at 11 a.m. against the Strasburg Indians on the road right here on 1010, as well as KSIR.com. We do remind you that you can always follow us pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com by clicking on the link for the appropriate game. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook at our 1010 KSIR Sports page and Twitter at KSIR Sports for continuous updates of games that we air right here on 1010 and KSIR.com. The sound engineer and producer of Brush B. Digger Baseball has been Rose Condas. I'm John Beltran with the final score. Brush 19, Yuma 3 from Sunset Baseball Field in Brush. You've been listening to Brush B. Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and on the World Wide Web at KSIR.com.